All right, let's see what this sounds like. Shit, I'm sure.
Welcome back to another edition of The Will Be Expletives. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
Okay, Ron, this is episode 59. When do we get our own Civil War?
Right?
Is it like 60s, 70s? Like, what are we talking? I need to know when our divorce is inevitably coming.
I don't know, but it has to be coming soon, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's been going too well.
We were literally just talking about how before we started recording, we were like, let's get this over with.
59 episodes, that's all it took.
Yeah, and then we are both emotionally dead inside. But yeah, Ron, we have no time for any intros other than this because holy shit, newspocalypse happened. So we are
after weeks of nothing.
We are talking in depth, somewhat of the first article, and then everything else is full on lightning round. So
this first article would be the entire show if Phil would ever record with us.
Oh. I want to be a fly on the wall, just eating popcorn while I watch you guys just like duke it out over Power Rangers.
It would be like Undercover Brother when the girls are fighting with the water going all over them, and Eddie Griffin and the other dudes just sitting there eating popcorn and watching them.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it would be.
Exactly. Only not
shower and all.
Yeah. I mean, you can't talk about Power Rangers unless you're practically naked. I'm just saying.
Right.
But
I do.
You don't. Let's get the show started. And the one thing I wanted Ron to talk about, because it is, for him, probably by far the biggest news article of the last couple of months, and that is we actually got a look at the official Power Ranger costumes. So I have no dog in this fight. All yours, Ron. Say what you want to say.
Did you just condone dogfighting?
I'm not Michael Vick. What are you talking about?
Well, I think they look pretty badass. I was a fan of the armored suits from the first movie that they did.
Is that the skydiving one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's most people remember Ivan Ooze, but
I remember Ivan Ooze, skydiving, and rollerblading. That is all I remember from that movie.
Well, they're trying to get kids to go outside and do shit, Jeff. Not
had
sit
a good
around and have
soundtrack.
podcasts.
Had a good soundtrack.
Yeah,
I would buy that soundtrack.
Van Halen at the end.
I fucking love Van Halen, dude.
Yeah, dude. This movie is not a Power Rangers movie without Van Halen at the end.
If they don't have Van Halen, fuck this movie.
Right? Pretty much. It could be Avengers level, and it'd be fuck this movie without Van Halen. But no, they're armored like that, but they're also, since they're supposed to be going more technological than anything else.
Well, the article with it was saying they were going the alien design route, right?
Yeah. So I think they look pretty good. Hell of a lot more menacing looking, I think.
I will say they look a hell of a lot better than Rita Repulsa does.
Yes, they do.
I am way more on board with their costumes than I was Rita Repulsa's.
I'm on the fence on if this should have been the first picture or if Rita should have been the first picture.
I don't think Rita should have been a picture. I mean, dude, Elizabeth Banks is gorgeous. I'm not saying that, but
I don't understand how you go from this to Rita. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
they had two separate teams, it seems like, doing the costume design.
A better person for this conversation would have been Phil, like you said, because you guys are actually big fans of this. I have no dog in the fight. I liked it as a kid, but it wasn't something that stuck with me.
We had a long text back and forth about how much we disagree.
Can we pause this podcast so I can go read said conversation?
Because, yeah, and
he is livid about this.
He is absolutely livid.
Philip does not get livid, so that's probably the most pissed off I've ever seen him.
And he was actually holding out a little bit of hope for this movie, too, until he saw Rita and this, and he was just fucking done. But
I'm more with him. I'm with him on the Rita thing, and I probably lean more towards your argument on their costumes, because I don't think they look like incredible or anything, but I think they look cooler than they should for Power Rangers.
Especially the Black Ranger, like you and I were talking about.
Black Ranger looks the coolest. The one that looks awkward to me is the Yellow Ranger, just because
I think it's the side view.
Yeah,
to be honest, because the color yellow really showcases a lot of the design in the side of the suit. I think if that was a lot harder to say than it should have been. I think if it was a more front-on image like the rest of them.
I think the thing about it, like pretty much my only opinion on it, is the Rita Repulsa pick turned me off of this film. This didn't like make me super excited for it or turn me off the film. It's just fine. I think they work.
I think they work a lot better than they should. And what I told you about is if anyone's familiar with the anime Guyver, they remind me a lot of the Guyver armor.
So you're on board with these costumes. Philip was not. Can you really quickly basically say what Phillips' main issue with them was. It just that he didn't think they portrayed Power Rangers?
He ended up telling me later in the conversation that the design of the suits being armored, he was fine with, but he doesn't like the technological route. Like, you can see like what appears to be like circuitry and stuff glowing in here and stuff.
You know what you just made me think of? I don't think Iron Man. I think the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
it has a little bit of that. You know, like with the gears constantly going and stuff like that. I actually get, now that I'm thinking about it, a little bit of like the Atom.
Yeah,
which I like the Atom costume, so I'm cool with that.
But he was talking about how, they get their powers from mysticism, and I was like, or is mysticism just another way to describe alien technology we don't understand?
The Thor conversation?
Yeah, basically, because that's what the whole conversation reminded me of when people were arguing if Thor should be an alien or a Norse god. And
they did both
brilliantly. This won't, but and then he brought in a character that I had totally fucking forgotten existed. I can't even remember his name now. I remember what he looks like, and I have the toy, but I can't tell you what his fucking name was. But the guy that originally created the power coins, and he was from Earth, because I was like, you realize that they're using like more or less alien tech from an alien to take on another alien, so it totally works in my mind. And he says, but Zordon, alien or not, because I said, first he was like, what alien? And I said Zordon was not of Earth, even though he was human at one point. And his reply to that was, but Zordon didn't create the power coins. Alien or not, he didn't create them. And I was like, I don't remember who created the power coins. And before I could say that, he was like, this guy created them, and sent me the image. And he's like, and his powers are mystic, and the coins themselves are mystic, and blah, blah, blah. And he was just going on and on and on and on about how their powers come from mysticism. And I said, well, in actuality, the show, I think, blended both of those. And
I think you guys are thinking more about this than they ever did writing this.
Well, here's the other thing that I didn't bring up to him. They also didn't introduce that character until they got their ninja powers from him. And ninjas are all about mysticism, so of course at that point you're going to redirect the show to the mysticism angle. Yeah,
we do need to move it along. So I would just say the only reason I'll be watching this movie is if I get to also partake in you and Philip killing each other after the movie.
You should go with us whenever we go see it, and you'll probably have to sit between us during.
Just like, why I oughta.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no faith in this film, honestly.
Your opinion may change when you see the Zords, because at that point, if it's anything like that concept art, it could turn into Pacific Rim for a little.
They're going to have to have a truly badass trailer to get me on board with this, because I just have no faith in this film. It's just something about it. I just have like a bad gut feeling about it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to fuck this up, I think, than Batman vs Superman. Even.
Yeah.
And
I'm also. I mean, it's not for me. It's for you and Philip, who are actually like, you actually know like who fucking created their powers and power. Like, it was just. Yeah. My brain just checked out. It was a whole bunch of words I didn't understand.
Yeah, you didn't even remember Goldar, and he was in most of the episodes.
You just told me who he was like a week ago, and I don't even know who he is now. But yeah, we need to move on. Everything else we have to get to today. So final closing argument. You excited at all for this film? You have to see it.
I wouldn't say excited.
You're going to see it probably opening weekend, but you're not like chomping at the bit.
I am cautious about it, and you know how I am. If it sucks, it'll be exactly what I expected from it. So basically, if it's anything above sucks, even if it's just bad, I'll probably be impressed with it, just because I expect it to suck.
Fair enough.
It's like you said, even if the trailer looks terrible, like, oh, there's no way I'm fucking seeing that. And then opening night, I'll probably be there.
Yeah. So, All right. Something that we are definitely not fucking watching, Ron, is the goddamn Jumanji remake. And
you know what that's gonna get, Jeff? Hold on, since we're using drops again.
Okay, first of all, let's just start this off. I am actually usually the person who is like, yeah, this remake's happening, but it isn't tarnishing the old movie. I'll always have that old movie.
There's no way you can do this movie without tarnishing the old
And
one.
these comments that Dwayne Johnson, who we were just recently reported as being, I don't know if he's officially on the cast, but he's basically attached to this.
Well, the way he's talking, he has to be.
Yeah. So Dwayne Johnson said the new Jumanji remake will honor Robin Williams. And I call bullshit, because if you were honoring him, this wouldn't even be happening.
See, and like I told you via text message, I can understand remaking it because what have they not remade so far? I mean, nothing is sacred anymore. They're making a Power Rangers movie, for God's sake. So
Power Rangers is a lot better product, I think, to throw out there for box office returns than Jumanji.
Hey, they're making Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, for God's sake. But Jumanji, to me, if you're going to remake it, make it your own, and be done with it. If you're going to try to quote-unquote honor Robin Williams, that's where you're going to fuck it up, because then you get stupid callbacks to things and just stupid shit going on.
Like they're going to have a scene where The Rock is trying to shave and he's got the little things all over his face.
It's how you get the Ghostbusters trailer.
Like, you know the other thing about this too, with this film, and we talked about it before when I first brought it up to you, and in the fact that, like, just like the Goosebumps film, I don't get who this is going to be for. Because the only people who know what Jumanji is are your age or my age at the youngest. And this movie is going to be geared towards kids who are going to have no idea what it even is.
That old movie holds up, though.
Yeah, the movie is perfectly fine.
There's no reason to...
But, I mean, let's be honest. The only reason this movie exists is to make money.
Right.
The only reason this is going to make any money at all is Dwayne Johnson being on the poster.
Now, is it still Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart?
As far as I know.
If it's just Dwayne Johnson, I could see that a lot better.
And I didn't add it with the notes because it's just a rumor. Jack Black is also being talked about.
Fuck me.
Speaking of Goosebumps.
Is he going to be the hunter? Are they going to have a white guy hunting? What is he, Samoan and a black guy? Like, what?
I mean, if the movie is actually Jack Black hunting The Rock and Kevin Hart, I can actually kind of get behind that. So I'm making it sound more interesting than it should.
You're behind a white guy with a rifle hunting down a black guy? Is that what you're saying to me?
Don't twist my words. Don't twist my words.
Dude, that's when Tyler Perry steps in and then Medea shows up.
Hello. But yeah, we spent too much time. We got lightning round, Ron, focus.
This one I'm interested in.
Fuck the Jumanji remake.
Yes.
Fuck it. Should not be happening. I don't even really care about... I mean, I liked it as a kid, but it's not like I'm like, fuck you for even considering it. It's just, Robin Williams just died like a year and a half ago.
I know.
It's bullshit.
We're going to have Patch Adams soon.
Okay, this next one we can run through pretty quickly. I'm super stoked for this. We officially have a young Han Solo by Lord Miller. Alden Ehrenreich, the Hail Caesar guy, who we really would need to really see in that film because everyone says he like totally steals the scenes he's in. So.
Awesome. Because I've been wanting to see that movie.
Yeah, so it's probably getting, if not already, probably getting close to Redbox, so we'll have to check it out. Because I mean,
we still need to check out, what was the Grand Budapest Hotel or whatever? We still need to check that out.
I want to watch that too.
Not that has anything to do with this. But.
Yeah, but I'm super stoked for it. I actually really, really like the choice. Even though I haven't seen him act, just from looking at him, he really, really sells the look of young Han Solo. And the fact that we have never seen him in jack shit helps it, because he can totally just be Han Solo for us. But yeah. Let's see. Next up, we got a couple more Assassin's Creed pics, Ron. Did you check them out? There's one really cool. Fassbender's holding like a spear.
What I geeked out on that is the way he's fucking holding it. You can tell he just took it from someone. And as you know, the mechanic in the game where you can take it and kill them with their own weapon and use it for a second or whatever. The way he's holding it and the amount of detail in just that one still image reminds me a lot of when we reported Benedict Cumberbatch learning the hand signs from the comic book. Yeah,
I actually liked it too, because the thing with the spear too is I like the idea of him using different weapons. It's not just going to be him, using the hidden blade the whole fucking movie.
One thing that blew people away was the Assassin's Creed Revelations trailer when it first hit, because Ezio by himself takes out like 40 guys, like just turning their own weapons on him and stuff, and hardly even using his own. Yeah. So, and just the way he's standing and the way he's holding it, every time I see an image from this, I get more and more stoked for it.
I'm really excited for it too. So I swear to God, if they fuck up both Warcraft and Assassin's Creed after all of the promise they have, we're fucked.
Right.
I'm never getting my fucking Uncharted or Last of Us films. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be legitly fucking sad, dude.
That'd put Tomb Raider in jeopardy too.
It really would. Speaking of another adaptation we're both really, really curious about now, Drew Goddard and Ridley Scott, two guys that Ron and I are huge fans of, just recently collaborated on The Martian. Martians, I think, is one of the absolute best novel adaptations I've ever seen.
I agree.
Because they completely, in an abridged version, portray everything you could get out of that novel. I
and
thought
everything
it was done,
you needed to know.
I thought it was done brilliantly.
And the slight changes they had to make were not that egregious.
Yeah, I absolutely love The Martian.
Drew Goddard did a damn good job.
I love me some Drew Goddard.
Ridley Scott does good on everything he does.
Yeah, fucking Ridley Scott. This was actually curious, though. They're teaming up for what will be Ridley Scott's first Western, which we've commented before about how Ridley Scott's all over the place when it comes to genres.
And you know what's interesting about that? If you think about the way he films anything, like The Martian especially is a good example, his filming style would work perfect for a Western.
Exactly, yeah. Blade Runner is almost like a Western in space. It's. I think it's going to be really, really cool. The thing they're adapting is actually Wraiths of the Broken Land, which is a metal-ass title. It's a novel written by the guy who wrote and directed Bone Tomahawk. So it's going to be basically a Western with horror elements again, which is, dude, fucking Goddard and Ridley Scott doing a horror Western. I'm there opening day.
And we know Goddard can adapt a property.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoked for this, dude. I'm really excited. Something we are not stoked or excited for is Godzilla 2, Ron.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is fucking mind-boggling to me, dude. So Godzilla 2 was pushed back from 2018 to March of 2019. So the last movie that came out was in 2014. How long does it take you to not have Godzilla on screen?
It's not going to happen, I don't think.
5 years? 5 years to have 5 minutes of Godzilla screen time?
It's not going to happen.
By the year 2045, we will have a full Godzilla film if you piece together.
What studio is it again?
Warner Brothers? I can't remember.
Yeah, no. They're into the DC stuff now, pushing it out.
That could be wrong in that. That's totally a guess on my part. But whoever
if it is.
Clear. What's weird, though, is that movie made money. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. I honestly don't. How do we have a fucking Tarzan movie and not a Godzilla sequel?
How do we not have a good Godzilla movie at this point?
I don't know. I don't get it. Hey, that one from the Evangelion guy looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it did.
He looked like a fucking Miyazaki from Dark Souls Godzilla. Like, it looked kind of terrifying. Yeah, I'm way more excited for that than this dog shit.
Yeah.
Why have we not recorded that Godzilla commentary
rant tracks? We still need to get on that.
Fuck that movie.
I think the holdup is we have to watch that movie again.
Next up, Ron, this is very, very good news. Wolverine 3 will officially be rated R per Simon Kinberg, who is like the main Fox producer running everything.
Thank God.
It will officially... First of all, thank you, Deadpool.
Yes.
Bless you, Deadpool.
Yes.
It is officially rated R. It's going to have a Western feel set in the future. What's funny is before I read this today, Philip and I were actually just talking about this last night after we watched Civil War.
Oh, yeah?
And that we were basically talking about where should it be set in the time frame, since what they've done with the movies of X-Men is, we started out in the 2000s and then went back.
Right.
And what I was telling him is I think the best thing to do is not only because of how much I love Old Man Logan, that comic line where I was telling you guys about where it's set in the future and like the villains have won and divvied up America and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Awesome concept, but not only that, it makes sense because you need him to be separated and have a good reason for being separated from the X-Men timeline.
Yeah.
And if it's 60 years in the future, where you can naturally kind of assume all of the X-Men have died or super, super old, it gives you a good reason for Wolverine not, just calling the X-Men for help.
Right.
I think it's smart writing. If they do anything at all Old Man Logan, I think it'll be a great send-off for Wolverine because that's always been my absolute favorite Wolverine story. So, really, really excited for this. Finally, the dude whose superpower is cutting people with knives can be in an R-rated movie, for fuck's sake. Let's see. Next, we got a little bit more Marvel news to get through.
I like
this. This is
one
also
too.
Fantastic fucking news.
Yes.
Kevin Feige, if you don't know who Kevin Feige is, shame on you. He is the mastermind behind every good thing to come out of Marvel since 2008. He has now stated Spidey is fully under Marvel's creative control.
Yes.
The worry we always had
is that Sony would have their input.
Was that Sony would have their input.
And they have for 5 movies now.
Yeah, we were worried that Sony would have input and that basically the deal was Sony's going to be making the movie and Marvel just did it to basically get more revenue because fucking Spider-Man is Spider-Man.
Right.
But this is fantastic news because basically Marvel can do whatever the shit they want with that character, which they've already shown is fucking gonna be knocked out of the park.
Oh, dude, if he's half as good in his own movie.
Quick plug. We are, after this, going to be recording our Civil War spoiler-free and spoiler-full review, so check that out. We'll get full in-depth on Spidey. But yeah, this is fantastic news, because what this means, Marvel is fully writing, casting, directing Spider-Man, and Sony is just sitting back, cashing the checks.
Yep.
And how the serious fuck has Fox not done this exact thing with Fantastic Four yet is beyond me. I get X-Men. X-Men makes money.
And, with Reed Richards being a scientist and everything, it could totally work into the Infinity War stuff.
It would be amazing, and you could actually, if they could get it done in time, they could use the Infinity War as a setup for their origin. Even it's something really cool.
Yeah.
But
and I've said this before, but I just want to say this again before we move on. I find it really funny that for 3 movies, I'm going to take off Spider-Man 3, but for 2 movies, they got the villains correct. They did them pretty well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I had my complaints about Doc Ock, but overall, I still really liked the way they did it.
I like the casting. I liked him a lot.
I liked the casting. I didn't like they just made him another version of Green Goblin with the thing in his head. But
that's true.
But I really liked him. And then, when they rebooted the franchise, another 2 movies, the villain sucked, and they got Spider-Man right. It's like,
did you not like the Lizard? I actually thought they did a pretty good job.
I did like the Lizard, but at the same time,
in the second one, they were terrible.
In the second one, they were terrible,
god awful.
So it's like, why couldn't you just mesh those 2? Why couldn't you just meet in the middle?
How are you so brilliant in casting Melina for Doc Ock and frickin' Willem Dafoe for Green Goblin, and make Tobey Maguire Peter Parker and Kirsten Dunst Mary Jane?
I don't know.
I've always said, fucking Emma Stone was playing Gwen Stacy and was simultaneously a good Gwen Stacy and a better Mary Jane than Kirsten Dunst ever was. And mind-blowing to me.
In their defense, though, well, I guess not in their defense, but, with all the good also comes some of the bad, they had Mary Jane and they cut her out of the fucking movie because she was so bad.
Well, that's what they get for hiring Divergent Girl. That girl cannot act to save her life.
Yeah,
I don't get it why she's like an it girl right now and in fucking everything. She cannot act.
I always feel like she's trying to get out of the job or out of the contract, and they just keep hiring her.
I don't get it. She is. I've only seen the first of the Divergent movies. She is painfully bad in those movies.
Yes, she is.
It's hard to watch, and I am like,
and she's working with Jeff Daniels and Diane Lane and all of these icons.
Kate Winslet too. She's a good actress.
Yeah, and Kate Winslet, and then her.
Mine, I have literally no idea. We got one more movie news to get through, though, and then we're wrapping up, moving over to TV. Last movie news, real quick. Wonder Woman has officially wrapped filming. This was announced via a pretty cool tweeted photo from the director, Patty Jenkins. She's basically talking about how they all had a great time filming. She absolutely adores both Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. She said they were wonderful. I have really, really high hopes for this movie.
I do, too.
If it's DC, I'm looking at you, fuckers. If you fuck this up...
It's the only thing I'm holding out for from DC.
I actually, Suicide Squad, I think will be fun.
I had high hopes for it. Then I saw Batman vs. Superman, and then there was reshoots, and I'm worried about it.
I think the reshoots probably got a little bit overblown because literally
worried.
All movies have reshoots.
I know, but it's just...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a done deal, but at least it has David Ayer going for it.
Yeah.
Who has yet to make a bad movie.
If it wasn't coming out the same year as Batman vs. Superman when they fucked everything up, I would have a lot more confidence.
Well, you know what's actually a good sign for Suicide Squad?
The fact that they did reshoots?
No, not that they did reshoots. The fact that they came out the same year. Because that means if you're the studio, are you going to be paying attention and fucking with BVS or Suicide Squad? So it could mean that Ayer had free reign to actually make a good fucking movie.
That's true.
Unlike Snyder. So, yeah. So, we'll see.
All my hopes for that movie are pinned on Ayer.
I'm actually really excited to see our first live action Harley Quinn. I've always adored Harley Quinn. So
that part of the movie, I knew no matter what happens in that movie,
you'll like her.
She's gonna be amazing.
I can't wait to see her actually in a Batman movie where hopefully Batman doesn't kill her. But yeah, that's a wrap up for movies. Ron is going to be running TV. Go, good sir.
Okay, first up in the TV news, this is something I'm kind of hoping will happen.
Ditto.
Apparently, there's rumblings that Supergirl may move to the CW for its second season.
Did you happen to read this article?
No, I did not.
This is mind-numbing to me.
Okay.
So one of the reasons it's probably going to be moved, they have to, per episode, for licensing rights, for DC and Warner Brothers, $3 million an episode just for licensing on this
episode?
Per episode on CBS. Isn't that crazy?
Fucking cut that show and just stick her in Flash or something.
That's what I'm hoping for, because when you and I now have both watched the crossover with Barry Allen, and I really, really like Melissa Benoist as Supergirl, and I don't like anything else about her show.
Yeah, I liked her as Supergirl, and I liked the way they worked together on screen, but everything else about that show was garbage. I mean, the costume design for
Silver Banshee?
Yes, was actually pretty cool, I thought. But
for a CBS Supergirl show.
Yeah, but the reasoning that character had, oh, gee, I'm cursed and there's a banshee in the family, might as well fulfill the prophecy. Like, it was just, yeah.
It is straight up Smallville. And actually, it's more Smallville than Smallville, if that makes any sense at all.
And
like,
I never watched Smallville, and I am for sure as shit not watching it now.
Here's what I'm hoping. This is what I'm really hoping. Okay, you know how the crossover was Barry trying to get back to his world?
Yes.
I would love it if somehow they wrote it to where Supergirl goes to the CW universe and her arc is trying to get back to her universe, and then she does when the show ends, so we can have Supergirl in CW the whole time. I think I really, really liked her chemistry with Barry Allen, though. I thought that her and Grant Gustin were really, really cool together. Fucking, they literally go get ice cream. How awesome is that?
Dude, and her reaction when he hands her the ice cream.
The one side character I did kind of like was she has like a nerdy friend who was geeking out over Barry. Yeah. I kind of like that dude. Everyone else, though, fuck them.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to watch. But yeah, I'm excited for it if this does happen. Hoping, like we were talking about, that she does get worked into the CW universe and not just carrying over her show.
And then you basically, before we move on, you basically have your own version of Justice League. Berlanti is in control of.
Monday through... Well, by then they'll probably have a fifth show. So it'll probably be Monday through Friday, Berlanti DC show.
And then imagine the crossover.
It's going to be, dude, so many shows.
It'd be awful. It'd be a week-long crossover episode. It'd be a 5-part
I'll have
crossover.
to stop watching other TV shows just to keep up on CW DC shit. Yeah.
Well, don't worry. Here's something Superman-ish, Supergirl-ish related that you probably won't be keeping up on. At least I won't be. And apparently SYFY is ordering the pilot for Krypton. Now, I know you're holding out some ray of hope for this.
Just because of Goyer. I actually like Goyer.
I like Goyer, too.
Okay, first of all, is he just a producer, or is he actually involved in the writing?
That one I don't know. But if he's involved, he's going to have some sort of creative input.
Because he really, really spearheaded Constantine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he gave that to us, so... And fucking... It's Goyer.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything about him, but there's other factors that can get in the way, like any of the studios themselves or anything like that. And my biggest fear is that they will do to Superman what they did to Batman with Gotham.
Ugh.
That's my biggest fear.
Well,
Constantine was a character that is known and is loved by many, but did not have the same weight as even just the name Gotham, not even just Batman has. So they probably had more free reign over Constantine than they will this.
Okay, here's what okay, first of all, it completely depends on the angle they go with the show.
And it doesn't help that the god-awful Batman-related show is just called Gotham, and then this one is following the same suit, and it's just called Krypton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing, is if they, in some way, shape, or form, did my idea for a Doctor Who spinoff, in that I've always said a Game of Thrones-style power play show set on Gallifrey...
White Walkers and all?
Would be
Blue Walkers.
No, like... I think you could do an entire show set 2,000 years before the Doctor was ever a thing, set on Gallifrey, where it was like basically different Game of Thronesian style houses fighting each other, like diplomacies and shit like that. If they did something like that for Krypton, I think it'd be kind of cool. But the route they would probably go with it is like you're saying, where it's like Gotham, which is like, hey, this character, throw his ass at the screen. Oh, you like this other character, throw his ass at the fans. It's like, yeah, it just completely depends.
I feel like Brainiac would show up. There'd probably be a Zod reference. They would probably, and that one wouldn't make any sense at all for fucking sure.
I wouldn't have an issue with Brainiac being used.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just.
It's a hard show to pull off.
Yeah,
and make it
And that also worries me. So
yeah, at least with Superman, they don't have as many iconic characters to just throw at the viewers constantly. Yeah. So I literally have no idea. Honestly, it could be a moot point because they've only ordered the pilot. The pilot then has to be picked up to actually for us to ever even see it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
But something that I do hope will happen, though, and it's funny you mentioned Doctor Who, is Captain Jack. He could be coming back for the Christmas special.
I love me some Captain Jack. So
and then that would make him. I mean, did he just span? He just spanned. No, he spanned Eccleston, Tennant, and then he would have been working with Capaldi. Is that the same record River has? 3?
How many did River? She didn't talk to Eccleston. It was 3.
It
was 3 because she wasn't with Eccleston, but she was.
So that'll
with
be the second time we've had someone span that many doctors.
If you're going to do it with anyone, you're going to do it with fucking Captain Jack.
At least since the reboot, anyway.
Everyone loves Captain Jack.
Yeah. And you know, this even though it's just rumblings and rumors, one reason I feel pretty strong it could be happening is one, I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
John Barrowman.
Yes. John Barrowman wouldn't just throw that out willy-nilly, number one. Number two, he's trying to get that comic for Torchwood off the ground. So he's getting back into the universe.
And he's been doing audio stuff, too. They have some audio movies. The story behind it, real quickly, was that John Barrowman basically, I don't know if it was on Instagram or if he tweeted this, but he, on some social media site, was talking about him being in Cardiff in a week or so, where they've famously filmed Doctor Who, and he was
Torchwood set in Cardiff,
and he was being cheeky about what he was doing there, so people are assuming that it has to be something Doctor Who related. And the other rumblings are that the new companion won't be introduced until either the first episode of the next season, or she might be at like the tail end, like a little teaser at the end of the Christmas special, which they like to do a lot too.
So he'll need someone to be getting into mischief with during the Christmas special.
I think him and Capaldi could be awesome together.
Dude,
and also,
I look forward to that.
Also, John Barrowman's alternative is filming more stuff on Arrow, and who wants to do that?
Yeah, no. So, something else that I really want to happen. You and I geeked out over this the first time there was rumors of it. Fucking Karl Urban himself has been saying that there's conversations happening for, is it a series for Netflix?
It will be the word they were throwing out is series. So it will be a show, or at least a mini-series.
Yeah. Dude, that's fucking awesome. If I can't have him as Batman, by God, then give me more Dredd.
We do. I'm glad he's not Batman. That would have ruined his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but fucking dude, Dredd, to me, one of the best and most underrated action movies of the last, 15 years. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
And that was Lena Headey in it, too, right?
Lena Headey, yeah. She's the crack addict leader of the...
Oh, dude, she was so awful, but so awesome.
Best use of slow-mo ever in a movie is Dredd.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking awesome, though. So yeah, it's being talked up for either Netflix or Amazon. So if fucking Amazon gets Dredd, I will pony up with my money because I want my fucking Dredd. Something else we're super excited for. Last thing in the TV news is Bryan Cranston is looking to executive produce and star in a short story series off of Philip K. Dick material. And the name of it, what is it, Ron?
Electric Dreams: The World of Philip K. Dick.
If you didn't catch it, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is actually the name of the novel Blade Runner is based off of. So that's like the little name. It's a very clever name. I can't wait for it. I will watch Bryan Cranston read the fucking phone book.
Yes.
So the fact that he's executive producing and wanting to star in it is a good sign. And it's going to be anthology based. So it's basically going to be like half Black Mirror and half Twilight Zone or Outer Limits. It's going to be very, very similar to that. Fucking Philip K. Dick forgot more cool sci-fi concepts than the rest of us will ever come up with.
Right.
So
yeah,
it'll be good. It'll actually be, I think, on the channel Black Mirror used to be on before Netflix bought it. So that they needed a new little Twilight Zonian type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all the TV news we have. We have a couple of gaming news to get through real quick, and then we are out of here.
This one surprised me.
It didn't surprise me at all, because every fucking game gets delayed nowadays. Didn't fucking Uncharted get delayed 17 times? Something crazy like that. So one of my favorite game series is Mass Effect, and they've been talking up Andromeda, which is going to be the 4th in the series, for a while now. I think the first time they ever had a trailer for it was at E3 a year or two ago, so it's been in the work for a while. It will be delayed until early 2017, which means what's the last day of spring?
I don't know.
Like May. This will be like fucking like early May or end of April, because the gaming industry, just like with the fucking Tomb Raider exclusivity thing,
Yeah.
if they say we're getting it in 2016, it'll be fucking December 31st of 2016. They
Like
do that
Tomb Raider?
shit. Like Tomb Raider is.
For PS4 people.
They do it like literally the last time frame they can, because they want every moment they can to get these games fine-tuned, because there's no way to ever make it perfect. All of them have bugs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this didn't surprise me at all, especially with Mass Effect. I know you haven't ever played it, but I think you'd really like them.
I bought them when they were on sale, the collection on PlayStation Network, so I've got all 3 of them downloaded.
When you get through Uncharted, you might check that out. They're pretty cool. I really like them. I'm super stoked for this. This will be the first one actually on the new consoles, where I think they can kind of go hog wild, because Mass Effect is a pretty big, expansive story, and with the new hardware, they can probably do what they always wanted to but couldn't because of restrictions.
Right.
I'm really excited for it. Just it sucks it got delayed, but hey, I would rather it be, ready to go and released than them just throw it out there. Oh, we'll patch it later. Because that's what happened with fucking Assassin's Creed. What was the broken one?
Unity?
That still doesn't work to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I think they just gave up on it. Well, there's only like half a game there anyway, so.
It's like, they're spending too much time. They're probably still making that fucking theme park while Unity doesn't even work. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And our last news story for the day is basically completely inconsequential for me and Ron, but I thought it was important to include. Pokemon Sun and Moon,
This was such a Philip episode. He should have been here.
I know. Our special Nintendo / Power Ranger / what the fuck? Just Nintendo in general correspondent.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we recently reported that Sun and Moon were going to be the official titles of this year's Pokemon series. Yeah, they're kind of running out of things to name them. They kind of use all of the colors.
What would the special edition be? Of course they didn't.
Pokemon Uranus.
Of course they didn't do one for Black and White. They just did sequels instead. But
yeah,
Nemesis would be a cool name.
It would. I like the Pokemon games quite a bit. I have a lot of nostalgia for them. I'm like 6
and that's saying a lot, because you usually don't try to, if you hold out nostalgia, usually especially don't revisit anything.
Yeah, but man, when I played the first game I got when I got my 3DS was Soul Silver.
Yeah,
and man, they are fucking good no matter how old you are.
Good man, no. By the way, Jeff's a Heart Gold kind of guy. I'm a Soul Silver guy.
They are fucking fantastic games for the most part. I like them a lot, but I'm like 6 generations behind. So if I get to this, it'll be like fucking 10 years from now. They released the cover art for them. They showed all the new starters. They had a little trailer for it, so you can check this all out online if you're curious. Any interest in all? Because
not really.
You have played them more than I have, but you kind of gave up on them after a point, right?
Black and White pissed me off, and then I got an opportunity. I got a really good deal. A couple of things lined up, so I got. I guess it was White had the Black Legendary on the front, and because I liked him better, and then Black 2 still had him on the front, so I got Black 2, and after an hour and a half of playing, you're still in the fucking tutorial.
Well, that's just like
the whole thing just pisses me off.
That seems to be kind of like a thing with a lot of JRPGs and that kind of vicinity of games. Like they really it's like the opposite of American game development, is because like if you play like Last of Us, it's like bam, it's happening within like 10 minutes.
When I was a kid on the original Game Boy, Pokemon Red was fucking Dark Souls, dude. Like,
was that one of the reasons you didn't like the newer ones, because they're like easy mode kind of?
Oh my god, dude! I mean, you just breathe at your DS and the other Pokemon faints.
This would have been a really, really good episode for Philip too, because he loves Black and White, and I would like to see you and him argue about Pokemon.
There's no point to the game. Like, it's just
although I do feel for them as far as the creative aspect is concerned, because I wouldn't have been able to come up with the original 150 different Pokemon.
Right.
How many fucking Pokemon have they had to come up with now?
But to be fair, you could tell in the Johto region stuff with Gold and Silver that they were kind of running out of gas on that. And then when you get to to Ruby and Sapphire, some of the designs, like Bidoof, really, like some of the designs are just fucking awful. And then I haven't seen anything in like black and white that is even remotely cool. Like it's just all fucking lame.
What's the water starter in Soul Silver? Something Dial
Yeah,
for alligator.
Yeah,
that's his final
I believe
evolution.
so.
I think I loved him. That was like the last Pokemon I really liked. Was the one of the starters in Soul Silver? Yeah, I don't have anything against these Pokemon games because I haven't played them. Really have an opinion, but Sun and Moon, they could have done better with that.
They could have done. Dude, there's already a Sun and Moon Pokemon.
Yeah.
Solrock and what's the moon one? I can't.
If you don't know, I sure shit don't know. But yeah, how many fucking Pokemon have they made now?
Oh,
there's at least how many is there at least in every game? 150.
About 150.
So how many? And they've had what?
Last count I heard was like 790 something.
Oh my god, I feel for them because, like I said, I would have made like 5. It's like I don't know what to do. But yeah, that's
Mewtwo is still the most badass one besides Mewtwo and Rayquaza I think are on equal footing.
Charizard, well, it'd be my favorite because the first episode I ever watched when I was like in like 2nd grade was a Charmander Charizard episode, and he was like instantly my favorite. So yeah, that's always. And we get to watch him in live action in Game of Thrones now, so I'm excited. But yeah, we actually did a hell of a good job on timing this episode, Ron. Look at that shit.
Yeah, I know. Let's just talk about Game of Thrones for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you see that? Remember that time that Charizard like kicked that guy's ass? It was awesome.
I do want to mention though.
No.
Speaking of, we have had like our Game of Thrones spinoff has been wildly successful
for us.
And
a little asterisk next to that.
If anyone that listens to tonight's watch is listening to this now because of it, thank you once again.
Appreciate anyone who gives Ron and I even a minute of attention because it is more than we deserve.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for anyone who listens to us or pays any attention to our YouTube channel at all. But, I mean, the news podcast that we're doing now, marginal for us. I mean, even for us, we get decent hits on it, but it takes it a while to accumulate. What did you calculate the other day that the 3 episodes of tonight's watch was 25%?
We've had 3 episodes of tonight's watch, and as of this moment, those 3 account for roughly 25% of our total views, which is nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah, it just shows, dude, Game of Thrones, man.
Our Let's Plays, this podcast, and a quarter of everything. We just started this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so this is the last episode of the podcast. We are only... it's going to be like the... Game of Thrones isn't even fucking on. We're just going to go, start it back over. Episode each week.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I say we do, if it ever fucking comes back, Doctor Who.
Dude, I'm down for fucking doing any reaction show. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is.
I like it a lot better than waiting for it to wrap up, which... We will be doing that with stuff like The Flash, but that's because that has or the Shades of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's 23 episodes long.
Yeah, fuck that.
We're not going to do a fucking...
That's a commitment. Fuck that.
Doctor Who is 13, counting the Christmas special. Game of Thrones is 10. So
this year Doctor Who is 1, counting the Christmas special.
Now you got to bring the fucking room down, damn you. But yeah, again, we appreciate the listens of anyone that has just recently started checking us out. If you would like to get more of our content, please like and subscribe. You get all of the previously said commentaries, Let's Plays, tonight's watch, all of the above. We have Facebook and Twitter links below. If you know anyone else, friends or family-wise, that might also like us, we would really, really appreciate the share. And as Ron said, tonight's watch, we both love doing it. It comes out every Sunday night after we've had a chance to watch the episode and then record it. A lot of fun. People seem to be digging it that have checked it out. We got a few subscribers. Shout out to all you dudes out there. I don't think I missed anything, Ron, am I? I'm so used to fucking Game of Thrones now. It's throwing me off on this. I prepared my A game for that, Ron, not this shit. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
We will see you guys next week.